I am back with another vlog, and I'm just going to update you really quickly on what all the reading I've done today. Today is December 8th, so that's what I'm going to do. So I started reading Jane Eyre, and I'm listening to it on audiobook, so I am 2 hours and 47 minutes into it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. If you don't know, it's about a girl from the age of, like, I would say 10 and to her, like, adulthood. And right now I'm at the beginning where she's still about 10 years old, and she's in a school that's kind of an orphanage, but it's not an orphanage. It's a school, and it's really bad that she's treated really badly, and later it's going to become a romance. It's a gothic it's like a gothic romance type of thing, and it's a classic if you guys didn't know, but so far it's really good. It's one of my mom's favorites, so I'm really hoping I love it. I watched a movie from it, and I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite movies, so I'm hoping that the story is just as good, and so far it is, and I'm listening to it on audiobook, so it's easier for me to get through that way. Then I am reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and that one is about a girl who dies, and she becomes the ghost of Christmas Past. So it's from that story, and I'm 22% in. I'm reading it on ebook, and it's interesting. It's kind of like she's basically working in an office, but there's also that magical feel about it, because what she's doing is kind of, actually impossible. But so it has that like fantasy type of feel, but at the same time it's set in an office, and I don't really like that. And she's like starts out as this horrible character, and that's why she's a Scrooge. So that's why she ends up doing this Ghost of Christmas Past thing, and she's the ghost, and there's a few other ghosts, and yes, so it is very unique, but I don't really like the office setting, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to enjoy it, and I think it's mostly a romance, but we'll see. I'll let you know with that. I have a lot more to get through, and then there is Clash of Kings, and I'm not going to update you really on that. I read 100 more pages today, and I have 100 pages left, so I'll update you guys on that once I finish it. So that's probably the next time I'll talk to you, is when I finish Clash of Kings, the second Song of Ice and Fire book. Okay, so I finished Clash of Kings. That took me literally forever to do. It's just such a big book, but I finished it. And it ended really good. I don't know if you guys watched the last vlog, but in the last vlog I wasn't really enjoying it, and I gotta say, for the majority of the book nothing really happened, which sucks, because it was just the slowest book ever, and because of that I'm gonna have to give it 3 stars. In the first book I gave 5 stars, so it's kind of disappointing that I want to give this one 3 stars, but it was just so slow. It was just so slow, and it could have been condensed a lot better, but I don't think the atmosphere would have been the same, so it's kind of like hard. But yeah, so this book was basically about what the title says, The Clash of Kings. That is exactly what the book was about. Just the kings arguing and planning war and taking hostages and all of that. That was what the book was about. Just the kings arguing and planning and plotting to, take over the world. So yeah, and then the last 300 pages were really good. A lot happened. Not a lot happened, but a lot happened. Where like a war happened. I don't think this is any spoilers, but a war happened and a few other things. It definitely ended on a bunch of cliffhangers, because if you didn't know, this book is like every chapter is in the point of a view of a different person. So the last 100 pages were each of the perspectives and just like what happens to them in the end of this book and where they're all at before the next book. So I enjoyed that. It was definitely interesting. Overall, I'm definitely excited to continue on, because I'm sure that this series will get better, because the season I remember watching of the show was also boring. So maybe just after this, it gets a lot more interesting. And maybe I'm the only one who thinks like this, and everyone else loves this book. But it was just very slow. So 3 stars. And then I am also reading Afterlife of Holly Chase. I'm not that much farther, probably 42%. And I am enjoying it so much more. I just want to keep reading because I want to know what happens and how it happens. I'm still not a fan of an office setting, but the magical part of it makes up for it. Because if it was just set in an office, then I would just be like, because I work in an office, so sitting down in my office reading a book set in an office isn't very good escapism, but there is magical elements to it, so I do enjoy that. And it's set in New York, which I love New York City, so that's where I'm at with that, and I'm actually really enjoying the Afterlife of Holly Chase now. I'm not that much farther in, but I will update you as I get farther. And today, because I don't have Clash of Kings to read anymore, I am thinking that this will be a good day to start editing my writing. So I will show you how I'm going to do that later. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to edit it right now, but I will show you like my plan for it after when I get back today, and show you guys like how I'm going to do it. If that's interesting at all. That's what I'm going to do. So that's about it. I will probably see you tomorrow to show you that. So I am going to update you guys on what I did yesterday, and I basically read 20% more of my book. I'm about 60% into Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I spent the rest of my time editing my story. So to tell you a little bit about what my story is, it is the creation of a villain. The story is probably going to be, this is probably like the book before the series that I'm going to write in this world. And it's just going to be the story of our villain, and then the rest of my books will be about, I'm not sure yet, but the villain in the story is being created in this novel. So it could be a standalone. And I'm really enjoying it, and I don't want to give too much about it, but it is a world that I created, and the magic comes from the nature and the trees and the grass, and there's 2 sides of the world, a part that doesn't have magic and a part that does have magic, and there are lions and other animals in it, and that's how much I will give away about it. But I want to show you how much I am editing of it right now. So this is how I'm doing it. I'm doing it in different colors, so sentence corrections, what I want to change, what I want to get rid of, what I want to add, and questions that I have for myself. So then in the story, I kind of like do little edits like that, and then add like numbers on the side to like, so then on my blank pages, I have the numbers right here, and then what I want to add in that area and what I want to change, and all of that's just notes about my story. So then it's just like, I'm on page, I got to page 24, and I'm hoping that I can finish editing it by the end of the month. It shouldn't take too long if I was able to get to like page 24 on the first day of doing it. So I'm just going to spend the rest of the month reading Afterlife of Holly Chase 20% per day, and then reading other books 20% per day, and then spending the rest of my time editing this. And hopefully it won't take too long for me to get it done. I also want to update you on my reading and how it's going. The Afterlife of Holly Chase is going really well. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's so much fun to read. It's definitely a romance, and it definitely feels like the author is a middle-aged woman writing a 17-year-old girl, though. That's the main criticism I would give it, because there's so many times in her writing where the main character is like, whatevs or totally, and it just seems kind of off because I don't know any teenagers who speak like that anymore. So that's the criticism I would give it. And I'm also reading Jane Eyre, and it's just so weird reading this the same time as The Afterlife Holly Chase, because Jane Eyre is so like sophisticated and the writing is so like more like 19th century and like professional in a way, and then reading Afterlife Holly Chase, where it's like a 17-year-old girl saying he's totally hot or whatevs and all of that. It's very different, but I am enjoying Jane Eyre. It is probably going to be one of my favorites. It's probably too early to call that because I'm about 5 hours in out of an 18-hour audiobook, but I'm enjoying it so much, and I like it because it shows her from a child into her adulthood, and that's kind of like my story that I'm writing, is showing a girl from her childhood to her adulthood. So I'm really liking Jane Eyre, and I am liking The Afterlife of Holly Chase. So I'll probably update you again when I finish The Afterlife of Holly Chase, so in a couple days, and I probably won't be anywhere close to finishing Jane Eyre because it's taking me a while, and I'll update you on my editing too. Alright, I am back to update you on where I'm at. It is December 14th right now, and I think it was Thursday, so a couple of days ago, I finished The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I loved it. The ending was really, really good. It did not end how anyone, I think, would expect it. So it was kind of like a really big twist ending, and I actually cried, which I rarely cry during books. For some reason, I need like visuals to cry, but I cried. It was so like sad and happy, and I don't want to give too much information in case anyone wants to read it. I don't want to ruin it, but it was so good. I'm going to give it 5 stars, because at the beginning, if it didn't end how it ended and ended a different way, it could have gone down to like 3 stars, but because of the way everything wrapped together, because I was basing like my stars on how well everything wrapped together and if everything made sense, and it did. In the end, everything made sense, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it was so sweet, and I cried. So, great book, 5 stars for sure. I'm still reading Jane Eyre. I'm still loving that. I think I have 7 hours left, and I am really loving it. I think I'm at like the climax part right now. Her relationship already started, and it's been so cute, so good. I love it. I think it might also be 5 stars if it continues being great. And then, for my, editing of my book, I have been very busy at work for the last few days, so I did not get any more of it done. I got to page 50 to edit it, and then I also started typing it at home. So I think I'm about like 7 pages like typing it, so not far at all. But yeah, I didn't get to my goal, which was 75 pages, but that's fine. I don't really have a huge goal for when I want my writing to be done. I would like my book to be done by next November, but if that doesn't happen, there's no problem with that. So that is where I'm at. I also got a Harry Potter tattoo yesterday, and I really want to show you guys because it is like book related, you know, Harry Potter. So I'm gonna show you guys that. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I don't know how well you were able to see that clip of my tattoo. But I'm going to end this vlog right now. Next week I will hopefully be finishing Jane Eyre, starting the book East, and editing more of my own book, and I will update you next week too. And you can watch that video if you would like. But please like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.